Hey guys, welcome back. Jay here for another episode on my team career mode in F1 23 for episode 31 today for the Las Vegas GP in season 2. And last season we ended up winning this race, so hopefully we can go and continue that. But if you didn't see the last episode for the Portuguese GP, well then it was probably one of our best races in Formula in our my team career mode series. We ended up going to win that with, as you could see there, with the engine components which were worn. I don't know how we did it, but we ended up pulling it off. But we also went on to win the Brazilian GP just before the Portuguese GP. If you didn't see that episode, it was probably our most dominant race in F1 23. We won by about 2.5 to 3 seconds. It was a comfortable lead, and we ended up, as I said, going on to win that. But we do have the last Vegas GP for you today, and as you can see there, we're third in the championship and we're only 22 points away from that top spot. We might have a chance of have a chance of winning the championship. We just need to finish ahead of Lewis in both of these races and hope that he doesn't score mass amount of points. So we are going to go to practice one now, just going through all the stuff. But as we learned in the last episode, the Mercedes are pretty quick. They do still have speed. It just depends on what track we're at. If it's a fast flowing track, then the Mercedes, you got to count on them being up there. But if it's a more technical circuit, then the Mercedes seem to struggle, and that is where the McLarens come out and shine. So I think we'll be battling the McLarens more often for the remainder of the season, as the last two races are Vegas and Abu Dhabi. I'm going to be completely honest, I'm really not good at Abu Dhabi, so we might just need to try and do our best here and try and wrap up as much as we can of what we can salvage from the championship. And if we can't get first, which I do think we can, then second is still an absolute incredible achievement in our second season of our My Team Career Mode series. But we're not going to look at the negatives, we're going to look at the positives and see if we can go and win the championship in only our second season. But again, if you didn't see the last episode, I'd highly recommend you go and check that one out. It was an absolutely fantastic race with our engine suffering the whole race, and we ended up going to win. So it was great. So was Brazilian GP, back-to-back wins. Can we make it another one here in Vegas? And that'll be 3 wins on the bounce, and that'd be pretty good for us anyways, as we won 2 races in our first season, and this would be our 4th win in our My Team Career Mode series. 4th this would be our 5th one in our My Team Career Mode series. So if it would mean a lot to go and win Vegas and win this 2 times in a row, and we might just generally be the Las Vegas maestro, and who knows, again, we could go on to win this one and it could be an absolute incredible race. But we are going to focus on qualifying them now, as we're approaching probably my least favourite part of the lap, this tricky chicane, as you go past the big earth and then round the left-hander as you're set up for almost like a slingshot straight here. Your slingshot straight round this right-hander and then onto a braking zone, which is really tricky to get it right. But we are going to come to the final part of the lap, around the final chicane, the triple chicane, probably one of my favourite turns in F1. So nice and flowing for the last part of the final sector. We're going to come across the final turn now, the long left-hander slingshot you onto the straight, and you're going to set a 1:32.1 for our fastest lap. Not bad as we go on for our second run in Q1 to try and secure that P1 here in Vegas. I'm going to try and aim for our first pole of our My Team Career Mode series, and it would mean, again, so much to get pole for the first time, as it did when we won our first race in F1. Well, we are going to come down the straight now. We're about 2-3 tenths up on our time as we approach the fast braking zone here for the 90-degree turn. It is a tricky turn to get right, and the braking zone is tricky to get right. If you want to carry as much speed, we're going to get slingshotted on to the chicane again past the big earth. You're going to try and get a tight line. We're also trying to keep it wide. You're going to try and hit the apex here and sling out to the outside, and then you're going to try and keep a tight line through this long right hander. We do keep a tight line, setting fastest sector 1. Now we come to the final part of the lap, trying to connect it all round the second part of the chicane, round the final part of chicane. Down the straight we go. There's everybody going out for a lap. We might have judged this just too early, but we're going to come around the final turn. What can we set? We're going to set a 1:31.6. What a lap that was. Absolutely flying. And we're going to get pole in Q1, by 1.5 tenths. Not bad. So we are going to come around the second last turn to start our first lap in Q2. But what I was saying before I started commentating like I was Crofty there, the McLarens are pretty fast. So are the Mercedes, and if you're wondering about the Red Bulls, they're just starting to fall off really. Like, there's no other way to put it. They're starting to, they are definitely starting to lose what they had in 2022, and obviously in real life 2023, and they're starting to go back the way like they did in 2018. Yes, they still have a car to go and win, but it is better to see him on the podium. I think Max's best result was like 3rd in this season, maybe a win, I don't know, but it's not looking good for the Red Bulls, but it is looking very good for us. We're going to go down the final part of Sector 1, green Sector 1, but it says purple on the mini-map. We're going to go round the triple chicane now. 1, 2, and 3 now. Carlos Sainz goes fastest. We're behind Yuki Tsunoda in 10th. There's 16 drivers, but the 6 drivers still to set a time. By the time we cross the line, there's going to be 5. There's going to be a 1:31.5 on the table, and we're going to set that time. Good lap from us. We're going to come around the final part of the lap now. God, feels absolutely incredible. That might just be because we have a new engine going in to this weekend, but we've got about 4 minutes left on the board. We're going to come around the first turn now, and we're going to try and gain as much time as we can, but we're starting to lose time. We're starting to gain it once again. We're about a tenth up on the time when we come round the right hander onto the DRS straight. Now you're on the run down into the 90-degree heavy braking zone, but you're going to try and carry as much speed as you can through. We're going to brake super late. We're going to get into the apex, carrying enough speed. We're 2 tenths up on our time. By the time we get to the chicane, we're about 2.5 tenths up on our time. We're going to come around the chicane, try and get a better line. We do get a better line. We're about 3 tenths up, but we're starting to tumble down just a wee bit. We're 4 tenths up, just about there. We're 3.5 tenths up, but we're starting to tumble down the times just a wee bit. We're about 3 tenths up. We're about 5 tenths up by the time we come around the final part of the lap. 6 tenths up. We're not even at the final turn yet. We're going to come around the final turn. We're 6.5 tenths up on our time. We're going to cross the line to go 1:30.9 and get that top spot in Q2 by 8 tenths. Absolutely flying here in Las Vegas, but it is only Q2. Our teammate gets up into Q3 for, I'm pretty sure, the first time this season. Well done to him. He's starting to find some pace in the car. Absolutely brilliant for him, and it's brilliant for the team that he threw into Q3, and now we might have a chance of getting some points in the constructors if we can stick it where it deserves to be, hopefully in the top 5. But we are going to come around the second last turn now, and now we're down the straight, getting a nice slipstream off of, I think that's Max Verstappen in front of us, or Perez. But we're going to come around the final turn to start our first lap in Q3, and hopefully we can aim for our first pole in Formula 1. We're going to come around the right hander now, getting it nice and tight line. We're going to deploy DRS a bit earlier than we did in Q2. We're going to get a slipstream off of the Red Bull that's in front of us. That's going to help us in the lap. Again, braking super late, swinging it into the apex, and now on the exit on to the blind chicane. Here it is a bit tricky to get right, but we do get it right, hitting the braking zone, and it is Max Verstappen in front of us. We're going to get a good slipstream off of him. Carlos Sainz goes a 1:31.9. We can definitely go faster than that. We went a second faster than it in Q2, and hopefully we can find that pace here in Q3 we're 7th on the timing sheets, 8th now. We have not completed the lap yet, but here comes, I'm pretty sure that's Esteban Ocon behind us. He's going to try and overtake us by the time we get to the final part of the lap. He's trying to overtake us as we go round the final turn. He's going to hamper us because we're going to take a wider line, and Esteban Ocon set the fastest time. He's hampered us so much there that he's got a slipstream off of us and set the fastest time, and now we're at risk of not getting pole. This is going to be really interesting how this plays out, but about half a tenth up on our time as we get to the DRS straight. And again, we're going to try and brake super late, but there's lots of traffic. I've timed this very, very poorly. Braking super early because I don't want to crash into Perez, but we're going to get on the throttle just a wee bit earlier there because we braked so early. But there's Bottas on the inside line. He's absolutely hampered us here. We're not getting pole unless we go for a push lap after this, which I don't think we will do. I don't know if the tyres will have it in them. We're 4 tenths down on our time, and by the time we get to the end of the lap, we're 4 tenths up because of the slipstream. We move up into second or 10th off of Esteban Ocon, and now we're going to have to try and push as much as I can. The Ferrari, and then my teammate is in front of me. We're about a tenth and a half up on our time. This is where we're going to have to push like an absolute madman, but the ERS is starting to fade just a wee bit, braking super late, swinging it into apex there. We're about 3.5 tenths up on our time because Valtteri Bottas in front of us is going to take a nice line through the chicane, and again because Valtteri isn't in front of us, we're about 7 tenths up on our time, and this is what we might need here to get pole. We're 7 tenths up and we're absolutely flying in the first sector. We're about still 9 tenths up on our time, 7th. But because we don't have a slipstream, we're starting to tumble down. We're 3 tenths up, our ERS is running low, and the fuel's running low. By the time we cross the line, we're going to be a 2 tenths and a half faster. But it's still a tenth off of Carlos Sainz. And I think that is pole done for us. Oh, unless someone sets a faster lap, then we're staying in second. We do stay in second. It's an okay, it was a good lap from us, but we could have went at least 4 tenths quicker and got to pole position by an absolute landslide. But because the ERS and the tyre is starting to fade, there was nothing I could do, and the fuel was starting to run low. But it was a good qualifying for us, and hopefully we can go and win the Las Vegas GP, because we started 5th in season 1 and we ended up going win. Yes, there was a red flag, but hopefully we can go and win it off of just pure talent. Let's go to the race.
Welcome along to Las Vegas. It's Viva Las Vegas tonight, as for the first time ever, the Formula One cars are racing along the strip. I can't wait to see what this place has in store for F1 tonight. 17 corners, 3 straights, 2 DRS zones, and the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas as we race around the 3.8 miles of Sin City. The strip has been taken over to become a straight tonight, commanding top speeds of around 212 miles an hour. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and Iceman completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Verstappen, Ocon, Bottas, Gasly, Leclerc, Perez, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Stroll, Tsunoda, Albon, Iwasa, Doohan, Magnussen, Liam Lawson, Joe, De Vries, and Logan Sargent. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Anthony Davidson.
Strap yourselves in for the Las Vegas GP. We're going to go medium, 2 hards, 9 laps on each. We're going to lower the fuel so we're a bit faster off the line. Carlos Sainz, we've got the inside line, the 5 headlights are on, and now it is lights out. And away we go. It's a bad start for us, but it's a brilliant start for Carlos Sainz. He's absolutely flying into the lead. We're going to move over to the right to cover off Lando Norris. He can't get past us, but Carlos Sainz is getting a really good line. He's wiggling just a wee bit on them saw compounded tyres. Maybe he's not heated them up correctly on the formation lap, but we are right behind him deploying ERS. We're going to try and get the best run we can out of this right-hander to try and get a nice slipstream off of him as we go down the strip later on in the lap in sector 2. 2. Lando Norris is still there, but we're starting to pull away just a wee bit, about 3 to 4 tenths. Max Verstappen in 4th. He's going to try and push for another podium this season, and Red Bull could really use another podium. McLaren do look really strong, and as I said, they do look really strong on technical circuits. And the Mercedes, nowhere in the top 5, and they had a really bad qualifying. I'm pretty sure they were knocked out in Q1 and 2, and that's exactly what we needed here in Las Vegas in terms of them not competing for big points unless something dramatic happens in this race. But the top 4 are just pulling away from the field behind, and we might be on for a really good race here. We're 7 tenths in front of Lando Norris. Again, we're starting to pull away on the medium set of tyres as he's on the hards. He's going to try and go longer than we are, but we are going to come around the second last turn now, trying to get a good run on Carlos Sainz, and now past the pit lane entry, round the final turn as we go into lap 2, and hopefully we can try and catch him on this lap. We're starting to close the gap ever so slightly on lap 2, set a fastest sector 1. We're absolutely flying here, getting a slipstream off of Carlos Sainz, deploying ERS. Down the Vegas strip we go. We're going to have a really good run on Carlos Sainz. We go down into the final chicane of the lap, the final braking zone of the lap as well. We're going to try and get an outside line round the chicane. We're going to try and stick it round the outside, squeeze them to the inside, getting a good line, and the outside line's going to turn into the inside line, and we're in front of Carlos Sainz on lap 2 of this race. And now we can try and pull a gap to him as much as we can. Yes, he's on the softs, but we're going to try and go that wee bit longer on the mediums. We do set the fastest lap as well, and that is going to improve our chances of pulling away. But it's 3 tenths now. He's getting a really good slipstream. He's absolutely flying with DRS. He's flying past us. There's nothing we could do there. Can we maybe go for the dive bomb into the chicane? I'm thinking about it, but I just lay off a wee bit. Trying to get the switch back doesn't work, but we're going to get a really good run out of the chicane now. We're going to get a really good slip stream off a Carlos Sainz, and now around the final turn we're going to get the inside line. We're going to cross the line. We do not set fastest lap. Lando Norris sets fastest lap, but by the time he does that, we're going to get in front of Carlos Sainz, and now on lap 4 we've pulled about 8 tenths to him on lap 3 and 4. We're absolutely flying here as that gap's starting to come down because he's got DRS. Does he have a chance of diving down the inside the chicane? I don't know. He's gaining at a rate of knots. He's trying to go for the outside line. We're going to cover him off, and by the time we get to the chicane, he's not going to go for the move, and we're still in P1. But by the time we get to lap 6, we've pulled about a second and a half to Carlos Sainz. He's not going to get DRS. He's going to get nowhere near DRS as we tap the wall there. That might hamper our chances. Have we got any damage? No, we do not. Great for us, not good for Carlos Sainz this year not getting DRS here. Starting to close that gap though as we're going to try and conserve a bit of ERS. There's the Haas going really slow around the chicane. Maybe he had to go for an early pit stop, and there was some drama at the back of the field on the first opening section of this race. But by the time we get to lap 9, we're going to dive into the pits here, trying to carry as much speed as we can, and then braking super duper late. Don't know how I got the car slowed down, but we're in the pits, and so is Lando Norris. I'm surprised he's fallen in with the hard tyres. Maybe he's going to try and cover me off, but we do have a big enough gap by the time we come out the pits. We're only going to be P4, and we're going to be right behind Sergio Perez and our teammate Pierre Gasly. He's not pitted yet, and he's up into the podium paying positions. Go on it, Gasly. Try and get as many overtakes as you can to move up in net position so you don't have a struggle with your pit stops. But we're going to have to try and overtake our teammate anyways, so we can get a good run on Sergio Perez, because they 3 in front of us will need to pit at one point, but I want to try and get track position. So as much as I want my teammate to try and get as far as he can, I am going to end up overtaking him at the end of sector 1, maybe going into sector 2. If I can get a good run on him, I am going to get a good slipstream on him. Hopefully there's no inter-team contact here. We are going to get a good run on him. He's going to go for the inside line. I'm going to slingshot into the inside line. By the time we get to the braking zone, I am in head. I almost tagged the back of Sergio Perez, carrying too much speed in that braking zone, but by the time we get past our teammate and almost make contact with Sergio Perez, we are going to get DRS off of Sergio Perez. We don't need DRS, we're going to absolutely fly after him. I think that was yellow flags there, but I think it was just one of the buildings in the background. We do slingshot past Sergio Perez by the time we get to chicane, and we're back up into P2, and I'm pretty sure Max is coming in for his pit stop. Is he coming in for his pit stop? Yes, he is. We're going to move up in to P1 now. Sergio Perez is staying out. Our teammate is in the pits, I am sure of it. He is in the pit, so that means we are still in P1, and Sergio Perez still needs to pit by the time he pits. That means Carlos Sainz will be up into P3, and that is where our battle will be, and that's where all the struggle will be at the end of this race. On lap 13, he's got a really good run on us down the straight onto the right hander because of DRS. He does get past us, and now we're going to have to try and wait until the Las Vegas strip to try and get past Carlos Sainz here in this race. We do have to wait until the strip, almost going right into the back of him, carrying a lot of speed for that chicane. We're going to get a good run on him here. We might not need DRS, but it's going to be a helping hand. He almost squeezes to the inside line. That pull out, go to the outside, and we do get the overtake done on Carlos Sainz on lap 13 of this race, and we might just have this in the bag. We will have to battle with Carlos Sainz, but it's not the first time we've battled for the win here in Vegas. We had to do it last season in Vegas. He does get a really bad exit out that chicane, and he's starting to fall behind just a wee bit, but he's getting a really good run on us down the Vegas strip. We don't have enough ERS to try and compete with this. He's going to try and go round the outside on lap 18 of this race. We're going to go get the inside line. It's not going to be enough for Carlos Sainz. We're going to come down the back straight now, the penultimate straight now. We're going to come around the final turn to win our second Las Vegas in a row. What a race that is. We win the Las Vegas GP in Season 2 for the second time in our My Team Career Mode series. What an absolute spectacular race for us, and that means we do have a chance of that championship now. Sergio Perez gets driver of the day. I don't know what his race was like, but I'm going to guess he deserved it a lot. But that was a good race for us and a brilliant race for the team.
What do you think it was today, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Here comes your top three making their way down.
Not the first time we've walked out to the winner's tunnel, taking that top step of the podium. Carlos Sainz in P2 and Lando Norris in P3. That's exactly what we needed. We didn't need Mercedes to finish on the podium. We really did not need it. We did not need Lewis Hamilton to finish on the podium, and that is what didn't happen. So all is good for us, and hopefully all is good in the championship. I do not know where Lewis finished by the end of the race, so we're going to have to try and check that out when we get to the actual standings of the race. But by that, I think going into the final race of the season, we're just going to be off of Mr. Lewis Hamilton. I don't know where he finished. He finished in P7, started P10. He gained 6 points after that race, and we're 3 points off of Lewis Hamilton going into the final race of this season. It's going to be an absolutely titanic championship battle in the final race of the season. Can we maybe just go and win this? If we do, it'll be spectacular, and we'll be the first Scottish World Champion since Jackie Stewart. But hopefully we can find that out in the next episode. I will see you then for the Abu Dhabi GP. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.